Our life's totally changed. If we seem a little bit out, it's because we're operating on low amounts of sleep, lots of caffeine.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to eat snacks during a podcast?
Of course. I actually planned on it, but my mini Oreos were gone as quickly as they made it into my snack bowl.
I was giving a few people hard times because we just had our company event this week and we made these little bowls. Or we didn't make the bowls. We bought these bowls for people in the office.
We handcrafted pottery.
And your dad, who also is here, I was like, "You're supposed to keep your bowl." He took his bowl home, and I was like, "Did you get your bowl?" He's like, "Yeah, I got it at home. I'm using it." I'm like,
I know he's eating snacks at home.
It's like you're eating snacks at home. It's like I was like, we have to make a little
because we have
cubby
snack
hole.
train here.
Yeah, we'll have to make a little cubby hole for you to put your snack thing so you can retrieve it when you come. And he comes in.
It's actually, that reminds me of those coffee shops where if you're a regular at the coffee shop, they have a mug rack on the wall, and it's
or for
like,
beer.
Yeah, you can have a beer mug or a beer cup, or you can have a coffee mug, and it's like,
Okay, would you ever do that? Like, would you leave your coffee mug in
and then
some
use
place?
it, and then use
And
it,
then use it.
100 people stand in line, and they're like, "Look at the cat one," and it's been touched.
But does anyone actually ever touch those? I think people do touch them.
I mean, I've never touched them,
I've never touched one, but I think people would touch them.
but it does say like these are not your cups.
User customers.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I'd wash it every time before I.
Well, here's my
it.
question. Like, would you hand it to him and be like, would you please clean my mug and hang it back up for me?
Well, it's not hang it back up for me. It would be like, hey, can you make my coffee, but can you wash this first? Which is not part of their job. They're baristas.
No, but I'm saying when you're done with your coffee. I'm done with my coffee.
Right. No, there's got to be a wash sink somewhere.
Right? So you go and give it to him and be like, hey, would you wash my thing and then hang it back up?
Don't you think they've got the dishwashing machines like a bar would? You
No.
put it. No.
No, not at all.
Oh, especially because most coffee shops, well, they have mugs. I was going to say they have the disposable cups that they give you.
I mean, yeah, they do have wash. I'm just saying there's a process of saying, would you wash my mug?
Look, we'll find out. We already talked about how ice cream and coffee were like really profitable businesses. I think we just open up
a coffee and ice cream?
an ice cream
I want
coffee
froyo.
shop. You just had froyo.
I know.
You went without me.
That's my point.
If people are just tuning in, or if you've been listening for 5 minutes, I feel like it's necessary to say that I'm wearing the same shirt as last week, but it has been cleaned.
And you know what? I'm wearing the exact same shirt as last week. And
Are
mine
you?
has also been cleaned because I own this exact same shirt in multiple colors, and this is all I wear.
That's all you wear to work. Yeah, you've
I
become...
love uniforms.
Well, this is not an intentional uniform. It's becoming one in motherhood.
I mean, technically, it is a uniform.
I know. It's definitely one of the few outfits.
It's a new mother shirt.
Yes. AKA a nursing shirt.
A nursing shirt. I was thinking of a word. I just couldn't find the right word for it. Yeah, our life's totally changed. If we seem a little bit out, it's because we're operating on low amounts of sleep, lots of caffeine.
Yeah. No, well, oh my gosh, I didn't have coffee yesterday. My head hurt so bad.
Oh, did you have some today?
I did. I feel great.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I haven't even seen her all day.
Coffee.
I saw her this morning. I think I saw like your forehead sticking out from behind the cover.
Oh, please.
I gave that a kiss.
Look,
I was like, I
girls
just hope
gotta
this isn't a
sleep
dude.
when a girl can sleep. What do you mean? I hope this isn't a dude laying in my bed. How could he have possibly gotten there?
I don't know who's here. Someone's in my bed. Could be something. No, I'm just gonna kiss it on the forehead. It was like, and it stirred. It was like a kiss, and then it was like.
Oh my gosh! I'm not a hibernating bear.
Is that because I like wiggled and growled?
Yeah, you're a good bear.
I'm a bear.
The noises of the podcast. Yeah, no, our life has definitely changed.
Yep.
We obviously have been, our little baby girl, she's still in the NICU. So it's back and forth to the hospital pretty much every single day, multiple times a day. But
Yeah.
we're
I
just,
have stopped going early in the morning because we built up. I used to be like the milkman. Like I would get up early, I would gather the milk, throw it in the cooler or the backpack.
we
little
joke
backpack.
that like, because you have to, you don't think about these things, but it's
Right.
like when your baby's in the NICU, you're meant to bring it, it's food.
Right.
You know?
So we're like bringing food there. So I
And-
get up early.
but it's
I
like a
truck it
drug
in.
deal.
I felt, yeah, you're walking in. It's like, yeah, here's
I'm
the
like,
keys
you
to my
got the
car.
goods.
I got a thing. And I'm like, yeah, I got
You gotta
I
like
got-
keep
I
it
got a
on
bag.
ice. I know.
You know, and I'm like reaching in, I'm pulling it out. And I feel like the nurse is
They
like,
scan it in like it's part of an operation. They're like,
it is.
"Boop."
It is.
boop.
I feel like if I've ever felt top secret, it's definitely delivering milk into
Yeah.
the hospital.
But your milkman duties have now.
Now we're so far ahead that we don't need to deliver in the morning to make sure that there's some, fresh milk every day.
Yeah.
So I've actually been able to sleep in a little bit.
Well, and part of it is that we have some employees in town, one employee in town from another country.
Yeah, we have a team member in town from Pakistan.
Who's visiting. And
he's been here for 2 weeks. And so I have a pickup time. Like, obviously, we come to work at 9.
Yeah, you're getting him to work every day.
And I'm picking him up.
Because we live really close to where he's staying. So.
Yeah. And so we had him stay close. And so for the last 2 weeks, I've been getting up early, picking him up at 8:30. But even then, like, I'm like texting him, be like, hey, it's going to be a little late. Because I was going every morning.
I know, which is a lot. It's been a lot.
That. And then hitting, the things I need to hit, like the dry cleaners and the bank and the coffee shops.
This guy goes everywhere any day of the week. You're like, where are you? He's like, I'm at the bank. I'm at, pastry art. You're like, what?
Yeah.
The other day you had, I'm not joking, 3 meetings, I think, before 9 a.m.
Yeah.
It was insane with like different humans at different coffee shops.
Yeah.
You're such a morning person.
That was definitely a back-to-back-to-back.
Yeah.
Morning.
And I'm like,
I should have hit
I'm like,
one
I haven't
guy
even brushed
right
my
after
teeth
that.
yet. Oh, yeah, he canceled on you for lunch that day.
I got one
just didn't hear.
cancellation,
Yeah.
but then there was another guy who I could have seen, and he was right where I was at, but I just didn't want to be late for the next meeting. And so I decided to...
You're just the most popular person in the world.
No, not popular. More like abused.
Popular. We're bringing Wicked back.
No, we're not going to talk about that. However, we do want to talk about sneaking people into the NICU.
Yeah. Speaking of undercover. No, my aunt and uncle came into town this weekend, which was so nice. And they knew that they probably weren't going to be able to see the baby, which they weren't. But they came to give us hugs and visit, which was amazing. And yes,
as the place is on lockdown, so the couple things. One is that you're supposed to get a name tag on the 6th floor of this hospital. So it's weird that you can get into the hospital and you have to go all the way in, penetrate deep inside, get to the 6th floor, where they then check your ID and then issue you a little sticker for your chest, right? Then we get to the NICU and it's locked off.
Different
and
floor.
You hit a button on the 5th floor and there's like a little camera thing and it's like, even though they've seen us a million times, they're just like, can we help you? It's like you're like a total stranger to them. And then you're like, Abbott,
Don't
29724.
Yeah,
like you have I have my
do
code
not
memorized.
Give the code out right
but I'm not going
now.
to give you the code because I don't want my child stolen.
No,
And then you say
guys,
that code, and it's literally like I feel like they're scanning our eyeballs, and then the door's like, and they open up.
as if you're not worried enough about your child being in the NICU, she got moved from like the incubator to like an open crib, and we go in the room, and she's got this like ankle bracelet on. Like,
No, first of all, we went into the room, and she's gone,
oh yeah, that was the thing, I
right?
know.
And we're like, our baby's gone.
Like, how terrifying! You
They
walk
moved
into
her
a
to
room
another
and
room.
it's
They're like,
empty.
oh, we're so sorry.
Her
We're
sign
supposed to,
was gone
we're
off the
supposed
door.
to stop you when you walk in.
They're like,
and
didn't
let
they
you know.
call? You're like, no,
they did not call
really
us.
nice.
Our child's
to know.
gone.
No. So
And
thankfully,
now she's a criminal because she's got a little ankle bracelet.
yeah, it's like she's on house arrest. She's got this anklet on her, and I'm like, are we checking her alcohol content? Like, mom better not be drinking wine and putting it in the
Seriously.
milk. Like, it was crazy, and I'm like, what is that? And Chris was like, I think that's for security, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And then the nurse comes in and she's like, yeah, if they get too close to the doors, an alarm will go off. And I'm sitting there going, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I mean, I'm glad they have a security measure in place, but is that really a thing?
But it also
people
explains,
steal babies.
No, seriously. But it also explains why they don't hit the backpacks on that floor. On the other floors, if you walk out of them and you have a backpack on, they literally stop you
And like hit it with a bat.
and they hit your backpack with like a bat.
They're trying to make sure
You
you're
don't
that's
have
the
a child
mother
in
that's
it.
the mother and baby unit
Yeah.
or whatever, where you have the kid or what, and they're making sure that you don't have a baby, that you're not taking it out of one of those rooms. And you're like, so you hit it with a bat and it
know.
like kills the baby, like or hurts it. I mean, that's horrible.
I know. It's like it would cry. Like imagine if you were did that and it made a noise. Like I would just die. I would die.
I'd be like, I just hit this.
It was just like, I'd be like, "Roar." I'd be like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Like they
it's
totally should just
crazy.
shake it gently. I'd be like, hey, can you open up your backpack?
Yeah, can I do a bag check? We're doing bag checks.
Not hit it with a stick.
No, it's so crazy. Yeah.
I saw that. I would be like, oh my gosh. Like
So there's lots of happenings that we're learning about the hospital. It is on lockdown and it has been back and forth, but she's supposed to be coming home this weekend. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, we're looking
goes
forward to a
well.
really good Super Bowl Sunday.
And we actually start to become real parents. We've joked that we're kind of cheating.
Yeah, we're on
cheating
we
life, cheating
went
the
on
system.
a date with like
we had a date night. It's like this doesn't feel normal.
we're
after
out.
having-
We feel like horrible parents. We left our child in a room alone.
Well, it's not like real yet. You said the other day, you're like, we're just going to like visit a cute baby in the NICU, and we're
It
like,
does
enjoy.
feel like that's the saddest part of it. It's like you're visiting and you're like it doesn't feel like it's yours because you leave it.
I will say it does feel like she's mine. I'm there for 6 hours a day, so I'm very much so
Okay.
connected. I am the mother. He's gone back to work, but yes, it's funny to joke about.
Well, you know what? I'll just back and forth. It's like this week we've had one of our head developers from Pakistan here.
Yeah.
And when you have someone here for multiple weeks, you have to be a guest. You're being a host, right?
A host.
So you have a guest.
Well, and it's his first time in America.
First time in America. And so you're like trying to show him things. And of course, our free time has been wrecked because we got a baby sooner than we wanted. Literally came in.
Sooner than we anticipated.
Sooner
We're
than we,
happy that
what did I
she's
say?
here.
Than we wanted?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't want it, so sure. But
Sooner than we wanted. We really just didn't want it this early. I mean, we were okay with it a month later, but now it's not convenient.
no, she's great. We're happy she's here.
But so part of that is taking him around and seeing different things.
Right, like
And- yeah.
showing the city and the town.
And what's so funny is like you're having a conversation with someone and you're like, yeah, I'm going to take you to go see this. And yeah, I haven't been here in years. I mean, it's really cool. And you're like sitting there. And
you know what? You're right. That always happens.
right.
You're
It's like you go to places you've never been.
yeah, you took him to
or haven't been.
Ringling Museum the other day. It's
Yeah.
free to walk the grounds
Haven't been there
on
in
a
8 years.
Monday. Yeah, and
You know? And I'm like, hey, my
it's really beautiful here. I wanted to show you.
Yeah, I just wanted to show you this. Like, hey, look at this. I was like, wow, it's so good to see all this again.
Before my parents lived here, they would come and visit, and I feel like every time it would be like, we should kayak the mangrove tunnels,
Mm-hmm.
in the water, and it's beautiful. And then you wouldn't go for like another year, and someone would
Yeah.
come back, and you'd be like, "Would you like to go kayaking?"
Yeah, it's like things
but I
that
would
you
never
would
wake
do.
up on a Saturday and be like, we should really kayak
because we
today.
do all these. And what's crazy, we take so much for granted.
Oh yeah, for
You
sure.
know, like even just like seeing sunsets
Yeah.
or going
The
out to the
beach.
beach
Yeah,
and stuff.
walking
It's
the
like
sand.
it's there every day. We can go anytime during the week, weekends, nights, and we don't. And then a guest comes in, we're like, yeah, we're going to totally go to the beach. The beach is amazing. And you say these things, and it's like, and it's all about like we should do this, we should go, but we never go.
I know.
When someone's not here.
Life happens. It's laundry, it's projects, it's all kinds of stuff. And in our defense, we do have the lake in the summer. So we very
Right.
much so stopped spending our relaxation time in town, and we go to our little lake condo.
Right. But even walking the beach, like a lot of people walk on the weekends. It's like, well, why don't you get up an hour early and
Yeah.
walk it on a Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday?
And we don't do that.
And we don't do that. It's crazy. Anyways, I've got to see all kinds of amazing things that I love in town.
I'm glad you're having a great
Tonight,
time.
I'm going to take him to a rooftop. So we're going to go to Artivation because he hasn't seen like the city from
Yeah,
kind
it's
that
one
point
of the
view.
best hotels in
And so,
town. And
yeah, and this is his second to last night. Probably my last night with him. I think he's going to spend time with other people tomorrow night. So yeah, it's just been a great visit overall. Super
been
glad
a
we
lot,
did it.
yeah.
It's been an investment. I mean, we brought him in because we had our first annual company event this week.
which was great. So originally, yes, little Abigail, our daughter, has rocked our world in many ways, but we had our internal company conference planned for the Monday after she was born, thinking we were doing it months in advance. We were going to fly in this developer so he could participate in person. And of course, she was born, so we had to reschedule everything and deal with
Yeah.
all those logistics. We were going to do it off site. There was cancellations that needed to happen there. And I kind of already talked about that last week, but we rescheduled it, and
we had it
it
this week.
happened this week on Tuesday. And it ended up, I mean, I enjoyed doing
I had a
it.
great day. I had a great day.
After
sharing things,
a
having
week and a
fun with the
half
team.
after a C-section, I was,
We ordered in Oak and Stone
Yeah,
through
for lunch.
DoorDash, which was almost went up in flames, but we were able to
what a
you were able to
nightmare.
pull a touchdown.
well,
at the
it was
end.
so crazy. First, DoorDash was like, this restaurant has a maximum order limit of $100.
Oh, that's right. We started with DoorDash.
And I was like, this is bullshit. Then Uber Eats let me put the
and
whole order in.
Yeah, it was like $150 to get everything in, but it wouldn't let us do it.
No, it was like every single item you're trying to get is unavailable. So once the store then opened,
So we went to Uber Eats, and they said that you couldn't do it until it opened.
it was a catastrophe. But
Yeah, but it ended up, the food showed up. It was just a few minutes late, 15
good.
minutes later than we thought.
they did great. Yeah.
It was great. And it was
was.
delicious. I think everyone enjoyed the meal. The pizza was good.
We're looking
The
at
sandwiches
Maria.
were
Did
good.
you like your burger? No.
The burgers were good.
It was good. I love their pizza. It's,
I did too. I ate like half your pizza, a quarter of your dad's pizza.
we
other
had some
people's
homemade biryani brought in. It was good.
homemade biryani.
Yeah.
And it was
But
amazing.
the conference in general, so let's talk a little bit about it because we feel that it is necessary to have a day or maybe half a day, whatever it may be, just time dedicated to communicating with your employees about the direction that you're headed. This is something that we've done in the past at previous companies. And so it was kind of our first stab at it here.
Yeah.
And I think it went well.
Yeah, it went well.
We
had 9
tried to
people
do
here.
some
We had
fun
10 online. We had some fun activities.
Yeah.
And our online participation was really good. I was actually worried about it. And
because it is hard in a hybrid environment.
Yeah.
You got some people in person and some people online, and what's it going to be like? You
Right.
know?
And Maria and our team was kind of monitoring the chats and throwing things out and kept it lively. And people were laughing and making jokes. And, we had the music playing in here. And
Yeah, it was nice.
we had some muffins when people come in. And we did a lot of fun stuff. I'll tell you what. People do different things. We have friends who they bring their entire company in, or I have other people who they take their entire company on vacations.
Now I will say there's
That's next
there's
level.
firm trips and there's for sales reps, if you meet your quotas, you get these. And those are very different from what we just ran because
Correct.
those are focused on awards, celebrations, galas, and relaxation. It's events. It's congratulations, or you made it, or this is a thank you to all of you. It's very much so not this is our opportunity to go over what's going on in the business. It's purely meant to be just a getaway.
Right.
And I love the idea of that. And I hope we can get there, one day.
Yeah, one day. Firm trip to the Bahamas.
Yeah. That'd be
The
awesome.
Caribbean's always nice.
Absolutely.
The thing is, though, is that you also want to kind of invite everyone's significant others because you don't want them to have to leave behind.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Obviously, that's a conversation to be had. I'm trying to think of the companies that I know that do these employee trips if they bring their significant others. When it's sales and you've won something, then significant others are invited. But there's a specific law firm in town that I'm thinking of that takes a trip every single year with every single one of their employees, just as this is our annual firm trip. I do not believe significant others are invited.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just
I'm glad you work here.
Pure team. Yeah. So I can be included.
Yeah.
And it's not
I don't know if I would
it's
want
not
to go on a trip without everyone
the
else.
owner. You mean without me?
Yeah, I don't know if I would want to go on a trip without you.
That's sweet.
I would just feel like, oh my gosh, this trip's awesome, but you're not experiencing it. And then meanwhile, because you like to travel so much, you just be sitting there stewing. I can't believe he's on this trip.
I would be happy for you. But I will say
you're happy for me for boys trips and friends and it's that.
Yeah,
But if
yeah.
I was hey man, we're going to Spain for a corporate retreat.
if it was this company,
Yeah.
I'd be pissed. I'd come.
Well, it's this company, you have to come. But if it's another company,
I'm just
then you
saying,
might
even
not
if
come.
it was your company and I didn't work here,
Right.
I would be coming.
Right.
But now we don't have to, do the whole why own it so my wife can come.
Right. So we're speaking of teams and stuff like that. We're looking to add to our team,
Yes.
and we have a couple job posts out there. And I think when I've talked to other business owners and people and companies, one of the things we all have in common is building teams. Matter of fact, even talking with our own team, I talk about building teams. I think everyone kind of gets this. There's a frustration on both sides of the equation. One for people who are trying to find jobs, and for employers who are trying to find people. Right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, because as our employees have come on board, we've heard about their job hunting experience too.
right. So we hear about what they went through to do that. And I'm not sure exactly what's going on. I've gotten some interesting.
Well, so we're hiring right now for a couple of sales positions. We're very focused on bringing somebody in the door that's going to help drive revenue. That is like
Absolutely.
number one goal right now, is like someone who can pay for themselves.
Right. Yeah.
100%. And so, anyway,
I'm hoping they pay for themselves and they pay for me
yeah, and then some. Exactly. We're ready. But
and pay for others.
but so he's listed a couple of positions on Indeed
Indeed, yeah.
And it's one, it's an interesting platform. And two, you have had some very interesting candidates. And
Yeah.
and I mean, for some of the positions we've hired for in the past, I've gotten some interesting candidates as well.
Right. I mean, you went through it for a little bit, and then I've kind of taken it over for this last sales stint and stuff. And
It's insane.
I'm huge. So here's my beef, right? And so it's kind of like the
Beef.
public service announcement
Okay.
is when you're applying for a position and you're going through a portal and you apply, send a note. Like send something that makes me think that you actually read the job description, that you're enthusiastic, that you would like offer me like, hey, I would love to come in and share
Well,
this.
it's like
I'd love to have a call.
is a cover letter a thing of the past? Because I received maybe one or two out of 50, 60, 70 applications. I mean, well, no, I agree with you.
What's horrible is that it'll literally look at you and be like, would you like AI to write your response? And it's like, what?
No, I know.
Like, no.
It's so crazy too, because we have a very good friend of ours works in recruiting, and I know all about like her role and stuff. I mean, we've worked alongside her actually in a company in the past, but as we were getting in applications, I was messaging her all the time, and I'm like, "Is this real life? Is this what you deal with?" Like,
Right.
Like, because when you have someone who does recruiting for your business, which we're just doing it ourselves right now, they typically screen and say, "Here's some people that I actually think are qualified for the job." And I'm sitting there going, "How is it that someone who hasn't even graduated high school or can't even do basic math or can't even there was just like random things that was like, I'm a janitor and I'm going to apply for your
Right. It's
social
like-
media
it's like
position." And
mass applying.
if you were a janitor, but you were like, "Hey, I've really studied social media on the side. I'm looking to change careers. I'm passionate." Just none of that. It's just like, I'm just a janitor that thinks this could be something.
Right.
You're like, what?
Yeah. No, I've gotten positions. I just, right before this, someone was like a swimming instructor applying for something where there's a 2-year license requirement.
And again, if they wrote a note and they're like, "Hey, I have this on the side,"
Yeah,
fine,
or something
you
that just
know?
let me know. I
But
got
if they
another
did,
one
you
where
sit
they
there
were
and you're like,
missing-
"You wouldn't be a swimming instructor."
Literally, this resume came in. It was like, I'm a real estate agent for the last 3 years. And then it was literally blank. There was nothing from 3 years until what was clearly when they graduated high school in 1985.
It's like massive gaps.
And I'm like, I literally responded like, hey, like, there's just a massive gap here. And it was like, oh, I thought I just sent. And I'm like, and then of course everything was irrelevant.
Yeah.
To it. I think I shared with the team yesterday. There's like I have like a few pet peeves like in this, and one is profile pictures.
Oh, I
Right?
know.
Like
They're so
it's what I call
old.
like the real estate picture where you took a picture when you were like 21.
Okay, but by the way, I'm
What?
totally going to call you out right now.
No, I'm totally guilty, but I'm not applying for
Update
jobs.
your LinkedIn.
Yeah. So okay, so basically my LinkedIn, I don't have gray beard.
If you're going to say that
Yeah,
you're...
but I think I look better.
You know what? You know what?
I think I look better. Look at my picture. I'm like 10 times more debonair.
You
Today,
are very
if someone
handsome.
was expecting that guy to walk in and I walked in, they like, I just won the lottery. This guy's
Oh
guy's
my
amazing.
gosh.
Like,
I will
that's what
say
they would say.
I need to update my picture too, but I don't look very different from mine.
No, you look very serious in yours. And now I think you're funner.
More fun.
You're a funner.
It's not a word.
Yeah, you're funner.
Oh my gosh.
You're the most funnier person I know.
Funnier?
The funnest.
Funner. No, so we have ran into situations, and this actually just happened to you the other day, but like there was someone who came in for an interview and their picture that I could see was like this modeling,
Like a glamour shots.
like glam. And I mean, it's like, I swear the hands were like Vogue. Like
No, it was very Vogue.
I feel like they were. And
Yeah.
and when I tell you it looked like this person just graduated high school, I mean it was like, okay,
Right.
like in a
And when they walked
sharp
in,
shirt.
I thought we were about to be robbed.
I mean, it was
Like, I was like,
they were like probably, and look, you know what? People change. I got no problem with it, but they were probably like 100
Yeah,
pounds
but
heavier
it's-
than they were in the picture, and I was like, oh,
You-
you feel like, is that the person?
oh,
You're like,
I know who you're talking about. Yeah, like that was a full body shot that they
Yeah.
supplied us, which is why we said it. So we were expecting this person.
it doesn't matter.
And they had
I don't care what you
gained a
look
couple
like.
hundred pounds.
I don't care
over-
what you look
We
like.
didn't know it was the same person.
I just want to be able to open the door and be like, hi, you must be this. And
They
I
had
was
short
like,
hair and skinny, and they had
I didn't
long
even
hair
want to
and
say you
pretty
must
big.
be. I was like, are you delivering something? Is
know.
this my interview?
But I will tell you, I did have an amazing interview at the same time. What I would consider on the amazing end of the scale.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I have my list of things not to do. So one is like send a message, like say, hey, you're going to do this, da da da. Answer things in full sentences. Like if someone asks you a question, like when are you available, and they give you days and times, don't respond with okay. You know,
Yeah.
don't like be engaging, read it, and be like, okay, well, this is when I could fit or when I can do something.
And what's crazy is to me, that's 100% common sense. Like how
should
you
be.
would interact with someone that you're attempting to get a job from.
I think everyone is so
It's
used to
amazing.
texting people in
It's-
such short little blurbs
Yeah.
that it comes across even the interview process.
It's unbelievable.
And it's like, you know, you want to like
You had someone
really,
messaging you the other day, capitalizing words that shouldn't be capitalized, spelling words wrong. You're like, are you talking to text? And it's like effing it all up. Like it was so
I know.
unprofessional.
It was pretty rough. But then I had another candidate, and I had messaged back and forth, and I said, yeah, let's go ahead and we'll meet at 4:00 on Wednesday, and I'll send you an invite. Mm-hmm. Well, obviously our life's a little hectic, and I did not send the invite. Now, I will tell you, I have sent a dozen invites in just the last week, right? Maybe not a dozen, maybe 6.
So you dropped the ball.
And so I clearly dropped the ball. It's clearly my fault. So the doorbell rings, right? And I'm already expecting a different candidate like in an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And the doorbell rings, and it's a person. And I'm looking at their doorbell cam, and I'm like, oh, who's this? I'm like, salesperson. And I walk up, and I'm just like, hey, how you doing? You know, I'm like, and he's like, yeah, I'm here for the, and I'm like, oh my gosh. He's
Yeah.
like, yeah, we said 4:00. And what was amazing about that is that he's like, yeah, even though you didn't send me the thing, you said that we were good for 4. So
I came.
your address was in the email. And so I came to the address.
Wow.
And so I was like, that's the kind of salesperson
You're like,
we want.
I like this guy.
I like this guy.
Yeah.
You know? And so he definitely checked the first boxes.
But it is amazing. Speaking of like looking into an email and being like, okay, I'm going to show up. I got a time. And in my mind,
and he also had looked at our stuff. He's like, I haven't had a lot of time. It's just been since yesterday.
Well,
And I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, right. Literally confirmed this yesterday.
but that's what I was going to say. It's amazing how many people don't pull up the website, don't look into what the company does. They just show up, and you're normally it's
Yeah.
like you want to ask questions about like, so what do you think about
we
the
had a person that literally responded back and goes, what company am I applying for again?
Yeah, you went to offer an interview or something, and they were like, "And what job is this for? And does it pay?"
Yeah, and then I got a message later that was like, what does it pay? And then a little bit before the job I was supposed to show up, I got another email that says, this is a paying job, right? And two things occurred to me then. One is that
This person's crazy.
and two is that just how we probably sit here and get frustrated with the application process. People apply and get frustrated because there's a lot of stuff out there that aren't even real. One of our team members was like, yeah, I would literally get jobs where they were like, okay, you're accepted. You can come aboard. And they're just scamming them to like get their bank account information.
Because they see that they've been on Indeed or something and applying for
Yeah.
that. That's wild.
And so now
That
they
is
have to be
unfortunate.
careful on whether or not they can even get paid or that the job is real. And of course, you're coming to a warehouse location out in the middle of an industrial park.
We're in an industrial park.
You're not from the city center. Like, we could probably, bring you in, chop you up, and no one would know.
I mean, it's definitely a road where murders could happen and the police wouldn't find out about it.
I'm going to lead with that heading. Well, we conduct all interviews on site. You will not be chopped up.
You won't be murdered.
You won't be murdered and chopped up into pieces.
No, please don't.
No, that would get a lot of attention.
And just don't.
Just give us people.
No, but it's harder and harder to find good talent. There's still a lot of people that are looking for remote work, which kind of blows my. You know what? It doesn't blow my mind. I shouldn't say that because Lord knows people will attack me in the comments. I loved remote work when I was doing
People
it.
did attack you.
I know. This bitch.
Yeah, seriously.
You can tell she's failed every interview she's ever had. By the way, if you're listening still, because haters love to hate, never failed an interview in my life. I've literally always gotten the job. But I was going to say that I have no idea. I was just
we were talking
got
about
on a
remote
hater
work.
train, and
I know.
oh yeah, remote work. No, it's just people are looking for remote work. They don't even care if it pays less because they love the flexibility, and I understand it. I do. It's just when I say it blows my mind because there's a lot of major big companies that have said we're done with remote work. You're coming. It was a forced come back into the office, and so I am amazed that there are people that are like, you know what, we're willing to not work those jobs to find something that is. But I think remote's going to become fewer and further between.
Yeah, well, it'll be more of like contract positions where
Yeah.
you're hired for short terms of service and stuff like that. Now, I say that, and we're launching software that has a component of pure remote work, really, which is just
Absolutely. We have employees all around the world.
But they're not necessarily full-time employees, right? They're helping out with aspects of it, participating and doing things, but you know, we're doing a lot of the heavy lifting and everything.
Around
So,
the world, people crumble for me. Do you know that song?
yeah, is that Green Day?
I think so. No.
No, that is not Green Day.
What is it?
That I know the song. I still know the person, but we'll probably look it up afterwards.
Is it Hey Now, You're an All-Star? Is that the song?
It might be. I don't know. Can someone tell us if it's the right thing? I have no idea. I feel like I'm on one of those radio coasts where they have a team and like, okay, we're going to play the first 5 seconds of the song and you got to guess it. And then I listen
that's
to
a fun
it.
game. Should we play?
No. And I literally listen. I'm like, I know the song, but I could not tell you the name. I could not tell you the name.
No, I'm the same. I'm really bad.
Like I could tell.
I am
I know
terrible.
lyrics.
Don't see. You're good with movies. Don't ask me a line from a movie. Don't ask me the name of a movie. Don't ask me an actress's name. Don't ask me lyrics of a song.
You're
Don't
right.
ask me the
I'm
name
a
of the
movie
song.
buff. I know actors.
Horrible.
I know movies they've been in. I know titles and I know scenes. Songs. Couldn't tell you a single one.
So I literally, my whole life, I've sang like at the top of my lungs the wrong lyrics, and I am so unfazed by it. Like I used to
I
think
think everybody does that.
that song said, "Ain't calling young Jesus."
And what is it? How's it really go?
I'm pretty sure it's like, "Ain't calling" or some about a young Jeezy.
A little cheesy wheezy.
Dude.
You know what my favorite thing, speaking of cheese, and we're like getting way off topic.
Speaking of cheese.
We're getting way off topic.
The Big Mac tacos I just made for Super Bowl Sunday. Oh my God, Super Bowl Sunday is coming up.
I know. No, what I'm thinking about is my guy, Cheez-Its, who got on the Cheez-Its box from Love Island. Cordell.
Love Cordell.
Love Cordell.
Serena and Cordell are still together.
That's nice.
Yeah,
I
they're
really like
amazing.
that.
No, so sorry, but we did totally veer off into the world of cheese. So we made those Big Mac tacos and the jalapeno poppers
Yeah.
to promote Super Bowl snacks. But we were literally just talking to one of the bartenders at a bar who ran the squares last year, and it went into overtime.
Yeah.
And she was like not anticipating overtime. And so this board said
Yeah.
that there was going to be like
winner.
payouts for first, second,
Yeah.
third, and fourth quarter.
So she paid out the winner for the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
which is what the board said.
yes.
But it went into overtime, and then the score was different for the winner.
And the guy he knew his numbers, who had the square for the final score,
Yeah.
was like calling the bar, and he was like, "We're never coming here again," because like,
Yeah, because they got upset because they're like, we won, and she's
and she
like,
was
no,
like, "It
it's
says
the
fourth quarter. We did not expect it to go into overtime." Which, like, I'm sure in the future you'll like plan for that. If it goes into overtime, here's what we're gonna do. But she paid it out. Like the money was gone.
I would expect that she paid it out.
Oh my gosh, what a wild ride! But the Super Bowl's coming.
I actually feel like I was the winner at the fourth quarter.
We were very close. You were off by like a number, but
Was
we
I
were
off by one?
Yeah, but we were going to go back. We were like,
We were. We'd already gone home.
it's around the corner. We
and
left
we got
before
the
the
score,
game
and I
was
was like,
over.
"Oh my gosh, that's my score!"
He's like,
and
"I'm
I'm like,
gonna win."
in like 5 minutes, I'm going to go in.
know,
I'm
I
going to go
know.
get my money. It was like $1,000.
But we have some friends that are big Eagles fans, so I feel like this year, just for their sake, I mean, are the Eagles in it? Did they make
no idea? Our
Yes.
our team's not
It's the
in it.
Eagles versus the Chiefs, right? Yes. Maria's nodding yes. I'm looking.
Who's our Eagle friends? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. They have plans.
Yeah, I know. What do you
Yeah.
mean they have plans? Their plan is to watch their team win.
Right. But they've also invited us over to their house.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So,
But anyway, our Lions are again missed out,
yeah, they missed out.
which was unfortunate. But that was an incredible game. It
You
really
know,
was.
we talked a little bit about, I'm going to jump back to the hospital because I wanted to point out something.
Oh, I was like, so we're off cheese and we're off Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And we're circling all the way back around.
hospital.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And one of the
well,
things.
she might come home on Super Bowl Sunday.
She might come home on Super Bowl Sunday. So with that note, one thing that at first I thought was very frustrating, and then I was kind of like, oh, you know what? This is actually not bad. And I kind of want to point it out, and that is how we have had a different nurse pretty much for every shift. Like we've probably had at least 10 nurses, if I have to guess, at least, maybe more.
Way more than that.
And
She's
every
been there
nurse-
for 17 days. And
Right.
well, she will be in the end. And it's a different nurse every day and night.
Every 12 hours.
And there's been very few repeats.
Very few repeats, a handful of repeats. And yet every nurse comes in and they know every single thing that's going on with our daughter. And what I was thinking about there is just the dissemination of information. Like when they sit there and they huddle off and they pass.
From a
think
night
of us
shift
as
to a
like the
day
client,
shift.
right?
Yeah.
So like we're a client and the nurse is basically, the contractor, right?
Right.
Well,
it's us. We're serving a client. So like we're making sure that we
they're
are
the business.
sharing.
The nurses
yeah.
are the business. And so they're literally passing it so that us as the customer have this seamless experience where we're being taken care of. And, when we look at businesses and when you have people in charge of different things, a lot of times people go, oh, well, this person's taking care of that. This person's taking care of that or whatever. And it really should be this like seamless thing where,
Yes.
where you have this dissemination of information. We try to do it on the development side.
Well, yes.
Because what we do is we get multiple people involved. We do stand-ups where we talk about the blocks that we have and the hurdles we have. So that if someone came into a new project, they'd be like, oh yeah, this is kind of what's going on with it. And so like the nurses do this to like the 100th degree. Like they're just really that good.
It is amazing. If you think about like what kind of experience you're trying to give, they're sitting there and like there's an investment in their time, but also they know like this is the most important thing in your life right now.
I never feel not taken care of.
No, exactly.
Because they know anything, and if
they
pick up on
want
a
you to have a
question,
good experience.
and if they
It's
don't
'cause
have
they
the
care.
answer, they go right and they'll be like, you know what? Let me go look real quick.
Yeah.
And they have notes that are following the customer. And,
Yeah.
and so as we're talking about ordering process, and I've really pushed it into our team as we're building a new platform, is we're all about passing the customer, right? Like the customer communication between us and them needs to be flawless. Like it needs to be the most amazing experience ever.
Well, it's interesting because first of all, I totally agree. And I have created a meeting with every team I've ever worked with, and we've brought it here too, called Rock Pile. And it's something that I got from a previous boss at one of my first jobs, to be honest. And it's like some people have boulders, some people have pebbles. You talk amongst the team, not only to understand what other people are working on, but just to see if there's like a balance of workload. Like, hey, do you not have things to do? And it used to be when I was just we bring everyone together here because we're a smaller team in the office. So there's a lot of like cross-pollination with different teams doing completely different projects. One might be doing marketing for our steak seasoning and one might be developing software for a client. So it's very, very separate roles and responsibilities. But one of the reasons that I've done it at my previous companies wasn't just for the client. And oftentimes when you're in marketing, the client is, the people that are asking for those projects to be done. It might be a sales rep. It might be the CEO. Who knows, right? But it was like, I made it so clear to my team. I was like, you need to be paying attention to what everybody else says and what we're working on. in marketing as a whole, even if it's not your job, your role, or your responsibility. I don't care if it's graphic design, you need to know where they're at on that project, because if you're on another phone call that I'm not on, that this person's not on, my expectation is
that
you
what's
know
going on.
exactly what's going on, and you can provide that update like it is your project. Like it, and that was always so important to me. And I feel like that's kind of what the nurses do and what we should strive to do. We do for our clients. That's kind of what stand up is.
You know, we've had some great Google reviews over the summer. We talked about the importance of Google reviews, and I was explaining to someone, and I was trying to explain to them who we are and who we want to be, and I gave them that. I was like, look at our Google reviews, because this is kind of what we're striving for across everything we're doing.
Right.
And so I do like these reminders of these good experiences and learn from them, and just like, you know, any business that's out there, you know, you should look and emulate other great things. It doesn't need to be exactly in your field, but if you see a great process,
absolutely
emulate it, follow it.
Well, and you'll
integrate
hear
in your company.
There are famous speakers and people who write books, whether it's on, you know, KPIs within a business, or I mean, I was even working for a company that had a private equity firm join, and they had all kinds of different businesses in completely different industries. And when you come together and you talk about what are the challenges going on in your business today, what are you striving to do? It doesn't matter if you're selling equipment for dentistry or you're in the automotive business, your problems are typically the same. And the way that you would go about trying to solve those problems would also utilize very similar techniques. And so it's great to look at nursing. We used to have something, it was called R&D baby, and it was rip off and duplicate,
right?
You know, which is like, hey, you don't need to create everything brand new. You know, it's like if you see something that's working well,
right, duplicate it.
Yeah,
just copy it. Make it happen, so to speak.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
But you were talking about, you know, all of this is like, we want to give a great client experience, and we have clients, and then we have our own products that we build.
Right.
And so you were talking too about like, when is the right time to launch a product?
Yeah. And it's like, what's kept us from launching is like finalizing an experience. You only get, it's, people always sit there and they go, oh, you only have one time to impress a customer. And I'll sit there and I'll go,
oh, like a first impression.
So true. Yeah. First impression. And I go, but here's the reality is that there's no guarantee that those first couple customers, or you're even selling the right thing yet. And so I do like to get in front of customers, and even if it's a bad experience or et cetera, but at the same time, I have that pridefulness about me. And so I'm holding back, being like, just this little bit more, just a little bit more. I preach to our software clients, and I say to them, get your product into the space as soon as possible and learn from your customers, right? Everyone's going to tell you that.
Well, you got to do beta testing. You could sit there until you're blue in the face making it perfect at first, but you're going to screw yourself, because the minute you get it into somebody's hands who's actually using it and in that role, you're going to get a million things of feedback that you never even thought about. Yeah.
And we did that when we launched the product towards in the fourth quarter last year. We got feedback, we've made changes, and then, you know, kind of some of my intuition came into play, and I was like, you know what, like this product is not strong enough on its own. We're actually needing something a little bit more. And so we've literally spent the last, 3 months kind of integrating and creating beefing it up. And now we're at the point where I'm like, we got to get this software in the market. We had planned revenue back in September. We're 6 months behind, and at the same time, I'm sitting here going, but wow, like this product has got like come a long way. It's amazing.
But you are, what is it? Perfection is the enemy of progress. It's like you can't sit there until...
And the software's only 10% done.
Right.
I mean, there's so much more for us to build, but the base is there in place.
And there's opportunity to make revenue or have people come in and test it for free.
Yeah. And so we're going to be
because that feedback's invaluable to us.
Oh, yeah. And so we're going to be making a huge push this year, which is why we've got 2 positions open.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like we've waited as long as we can to, like, obviously if you bring on these positions, you don't have a product to sell, you're just wasting money. But now I'm sitting there going, it's just like, we're ready and we just have to make the push. This is the year of the peacock. We've got to get in front of people and show them what we have.
Last year was the year of the goldfish.
And so, I'm making a big push for that. We have a handful of people. I'm hoping to make a hire within the next 45 days.
Fingers crossed.
And, get a sales machine, in here.
Let's do it.
That's my plan.
All right. Well, that's all we have for today.
All we have for today
Hopefully
is
next
sales.
week we will be telling you that our baby girl is home and talking
Yeah.
more about business.
Talking more about business with our baby girl. Should we bring her and be like, No. No.
Well, I don't know where else she's going to be.
I know. Where are we going to go?
The
next-
NICU nurses don't come to your house.
On next month, on next week's episode,
I understand
we're
we've
going to talk
had
about the cost
daycare.
of daycare
Yeah.
and how to budget that.
It's called Grandma.
Called Grandma. Grandma care.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
See you later.